So, for your first playthrough, it's really just as simple as following the main scenario quests, which people refer to as the MSQ. All of the main story quests will have this border around their icon, and will bring you through the world one step at a time, while also giving you XP and unlocking dungeons along the way. Besides that, just be sure to run your daily duty roulettes as you unlock them. And that's really it for your first job to 80. Now, when it comes to leveling additional jobs, they don't all start at level 1, and some have specific requirements to unlock too. But let's say today you're starting a job that starts at level 1. Begin by venturing outside your job starter zone and complete the hunting logs for that area while also doing nearby fates. Hovering over every enemy in the log will show you its zone and location too, so it's not too hard to find everything, especially if you have flying in that area. You can then keep doing this until level 20, but starting at level 15 you will be able to start entering dungeons, and depending on your job and or queue time, grinding fates while queuing for the highest dungeon available can get you all the way to level cap pretty easily. And this should be one of your go-to leveling methods to fill in the gaps at any point. The first option I'd like to mention in the next leveling range is the Deep Dungeon Palace of the Dead, and you'd usually run this from level 30 to 60. This can be unlocked by completing the quest called The Desert from Momodi and Ulda, and will only be available to pick up once you've completed the level 17 main scenario quest from the same NPC. So, think of deep dungeons as separate game modes, where you run around in an instance, continuously climbing up one floor at a time. In this deep dungeon in particular, you will start at level 1, but as you kill enemies and climb up, you can level all the way up to level 60. Every 10 floors, you will be rewarded with a sizable chunk of XP towards your real level depending on how far you got. The queue for this is usually a bit faster than normal dungeon queues, and it lets you try out higher level job actions too. So it's usually preferred over running normal dungeons in this level range, especially for jobs with longer queues. Since you can specialize or unlock your main job at level 30, waiting until then to do Palace of the Dead will grant you access to a lot more skills or spells as you level up to 60 inside the dungeon. That all being said, you can run Palace earlier than 30, but you might not want to climb too high or you will really be holding yourself and your party back. One last thing to note about POTD is that once you pass floor 50, go pick up and turn in the quest What Lies Beneath from the same NPC you start POTD from, Wood Whaler. This will unlock floors 51 to 100, and will also allow you to start from floor 51 as well. The other big option we have for this level range is running command missions with Grand Company Squadrons, which are NPCs that will join you in lower level dungeons, and you can run these all the way from level 20 to 60. I would have mentioned this before Palace of the Dead, but it takes a little bit of setup. However, it has the potential to yield the best long-term results for leveling lots of jobs, and I don't see this going away come Endwalker either. What makes these so great is they don't have a queue time, and they can be just about as fast as player groups, and then even faster once you learn how they work. So you essentially have a full, relatively competent party ready to go whenever you want. Start off by joining a Grand Company, but do a little bit of research into what makes them different, and then choose one you like. To then start ranking up, you'll need to keep bribing your company's personnel officer with company seals for promotions. To break through to certain ranks, you will also be required to complete the first and then second company hunting logs. Luckily, doing just the hunting logs and a few fates should yield enough company seals to get you the necessary rank. And if you're having trouble finding certain mobs in the company hunting logs, you can always check the wiki, as that usually has the right coordinates for most NPCs and mobs. There will also be a few quests from your company's commander that you should do as they pop up, the blue ones. They'll mostly have you do lower level dungeons, and you can even unsync these and do them really fast solo too if you want. After you reach Second Lieutenant, talk to your company's personnel officer and complete the Squadron and Commander quest. Then go complete challenge log objectives to start recruiting members. You'll be able to accept or decline potential new recruits in your Grand Company's barracks. Once you have 4 members, to unlock command missions, you'll need to increase your squadron rank to 2. And you can do this by doing 2 things. The first is by training your squad at the regiment board up to 3 times a day, which take an hour each time. You'll then also want to send them on missions from the Squadron Sergeant, and these take 18 real hours to complete. That all being said, this will take a few days, but at this point, all you have to do is check up on them here and there until they reach level 20, at which point you can then run the level 20 mission to rank up and unlock command missions. At level 61, you can enter the other deep dungeon, Heaven on High, which is very similar to Palace of the Dead, but it starts you off at level 60, with level 70 being the cap inside. To unlock this, you must complete the quest Knocking on Heaven's Door from the NPC Hamakaze in the Ruby Sea. However, to even get this quest to show up, you must have completed up to the quest Tide Goes In, Imperials Go Out in the Stormblood main scenario quest line, and up to floor 50 in Palace of the Dead. Similar to POTD, once you clear floor 30 in Heaven on High, the NPC you interact with to enter the dungeon will have a quest for you to do called On the Shoulders of Giants. Completing this will then allow you to start from floor 21. Moving on to the level 70 to 80 range, we have a few more options. The first one I'd like to mention is the Pixie Beast Tribe dailies, which can be unlocked after completing the quest Manic Pixie Dream Realm from the Pink Pixie NPC in the Crystarium. These dailies give a sizable chunk of XP, don't take very long, and are great to help you get to level 71, which the following leveling methods start at. There's then something called Trusts, which let you take story characters into Shadowbringers dungeons with you. This is unlocked once you reach Shadowbringers, but you must level these NPCs up starting from level 70. All in all, Trusts usually take a bit longer than a normal party, but there is no queue time, and they usually do mechanics pretty well. The last leveling method is running content in the Bozjan Southern Front from level 71 to 80. In this area, you will be level synced to 80 and have access to most of your job-related actions. You'll then have lots of different types of things to tackle, such as skirmishes, which are like fates, critical engagements, which are even bigger fights, and the Castrum Lacus Latori raid. To unlock Bozja, you will need to complete a few quests in the Resistance Weapons quest line, which starts from Kaiten in Kugane, with the quest Hail to the Queen. Though, for this to even appear, you must have first completed the Shadowbringers MSQ up to the end of 5.0, as well as the Return to Ivalis quest series, which take you through the Stormblood Alliance raids. If you haven't done that yet, then you're in luck, because you can pick up the first quest in the Return to Ivalis quest line from the same NPC Kaiten, and it's called Dramatis Personae, though the prerequisite for that is finishing the Stormblood MSQ. And that's about it for the most straightforward and accessible ways to level. In the end, you have a bunch of options, including a lot I didn't even mention. So just do whatever is fun for you at the time and breaks up the monotony. If you want to know more about squadrons, deep dungeons, and Bozja, check the description for links to wikis and guides that go into much greater detail. I hope this helped, and until next time, take care.